Hello, everyone. Hello, how are you all? There's a nasty feeling deep within my soul, scaredy cats, when the heart is a shattered husk, an empty, gaping hole, an unending sorrow. Will you die alone? I hear the sound of romantic wannabes weep and cry and moan. But who will save your love tonight? You were right, it's me. I can show the way to conjugal paradise for eternity. Yes, I will save your love tonight. I will. Just do what I say. The Queen of Hearts, aka Saundra Lezzenbaum, is here to save the day. The Queen of Hearts, aka Saundra Lezzenbaum, is here to save for your sake. Oh, thank you all for coming. This is so special. It's a wonderful night, and I'm sure you all are already very familiar with me. And I'm going to become very familiar with you over the course of the evening. You may know me as the award-winning author of such self-help classics as Married to Menopause, Keeping Things Hot Through the Hot Flashes, or Saundra's Sexy Shabbos, the cookbook of kosher aphrodisiacs, or for my critically acclaimed love memoir, Heart Attack, the Good Kind. Or you may know me as the host of the lunchtime Emmy award-winning Queen of Hearts on the CW. I think that aired on BBC 61, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, there are those of you out there who know me from my son Benji's disastrous bar mitzvah cruise in 2007. Yeah, you know who you are. And I want to say to those people, you, we're not going to be talking about it tonight, all right? So we're going to put that on the back burner. That's not the point. What is the point of this evening? I can hear you asking. And the point, thank you very much. Great. All right, she got the emails. The point is to change your lives forever. Let's just put it frankly. I am here tonight because I am beginning my Saundra Lezzenbaum Love in Concert World Tour! Oh, it's such a thrill. I can't believe I'm here. And just being abroad is very exciting. I've been abroad for a long time. We love a pun. We love a pun. So that's one thing. And in that Love in Concert World Tour, I am sharing with you songs from my upcoming album, Songs for a Perfect Marriage, which you've all pre-ordered, I'm sure. But there's more to it than that. I'm also going to be walking you through my love life story. And it's going to change you. And it's going to change me. It's going to be an unforgettable night. But not just for that. This is not only an opportunity for you to see me bare my heart and be vulnerable in front of you, and I'm going to be. I promise. It's also a chance for you. I would argue it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, actually. Because I am the world's premier love coach. I'm America's Queen of Hearts, soon to be the world's Queen of Hearts, honorary fellow of St. Hilda's Community College here at Oxford. I'm a pretty special girl. And I'm offering you an opportunity later on down the show, once you get to know me a little more. Well, you already know me, but get to know me better. Live. I'm giving you an opportunity to ask questions from your real love lives. I'm not talking about little, BS. I want real problems. This is a truly incredible opportunity for you to have your love life completely altered in the course of an evening. So I want you to start percolating already. Start percolating. Start thinking, what's wrong with my love life? I know there's stuff wrong. I can tell. I've got an eighth sense about this thing. And you guys need some help, and I'm here for it. So I want you to start thinking of questions, and once we get to that point, which you'll recognize, I will come into the audience and we'll start working through one by one. Sort of chipping away at those rotten, messy love lives of yours. Okay? Sound good? You excited? Now, you may be wondering, who do I owe it all to? And the answer is my beloved husband, confidant, and legal beneficiary, Max Lezzenbaum. Yeah. He can't be here today, of course. He's building parking lots around the world. That's what he does. He's a magic man, let me tell you. And everyone always asks me, they do. They say, Saundra, hey, how did your #perfect marriage to your beloved husband, Max Lezzenbaum, begin all those years ago? Well, I guess you could say it was your everyday, average, run-of-the-mill, one-of-a-kind New York love story. I graduated laude from the Ronkonkoma Community College of Cosmetology and Waste Management, and just scored my first big job as junior snack runner for the Noodleman Cosmetics Company in Manhattan. All of a sudden, I was a small pickle in a big job. Now, the head honcho, Mr. Noodleman, had a penchant for pastry, and he wanted me to score 4 dozen cheese conditions by lunchtime. A girlie from a smallish town, doing perms on Long Island Sound. I took the 6:10 train to Ronkonkoma. Just a city slick, born and raised in New Brunswick. He took New Jersey Transit to Penn Station. Little did I know it was the great cottage cheese embargo of '86, and the city was in free fall. I was in way over my head. Can anybody grant my wish? I'm desperate for a good knish. The delis are all out of stock. I search on and on and on and on. New York, rat race. I tumbled down a subway staircase. I broke my big toe. He laughs, I sneeze. A kilo of pernicious fleas. He points to 12th Street, so I go. Max has pointed me to the best black market conditions in Manhattan. I was promoted to senior snack runner. I get home at 6 o'clock, but then I hear a gentle knock. Max is standing in a 3-piece suit, holding Chinese food. Over Rangoons and cheap lo mein, I get butterflies I can't contain. Food with smooching on my futon couch. It goes on and on and on and on. Lovebirds dancing to the tune of the doggy style. 2 minutes fly by, we're in love. The whole thing was like a dream. We had so much in common. Neither of us liked shrimp fried rice. It was the best night of my life. Saundra and Max, together we get in a taxi, heading straight for City Hall. It's not open, but damn it, we were still eloping. My uncle is a rabbi at the mall. A humble setting, but boy, it was the perfect wedding. We found love once and for all. Saundra. Thank you so much. Oh gosh. Oh, I get teary-eyed just remembering that night. It was very special. Marrying Max Lezzenbaum, the day I met him, was life-changing for me. It transformed me in ways I couldn't even imagine. You know, not only did I then climb through the ranks of Noodleman Cosmetics to become chief executive snack runner, but I also discovered a confidence in myself that I didn't know I had. There was something about the idea of this incredible human being loving me that made me think, maybe I can love me too. Yeah. And it gave me the confidence to leave Noodleman Cosmetics behind and start my own brand of cosmetology products, which you're all familiar with. Big Leslie Beauty, of course. And it was a tremendous success. It was a tremendous success, but it wasn't easy. It was the late 80s, and I was a gal, just trying to do what I could in a man's world. But then I invented a very, very popular product known as the face smock. And our business took off. It was amazing. But you know, Max and I had a great marriage and a very healthy sexual life. And I got pregnant with my beloved second love of my life, Benji, my dear son Benji, who couldn't be here tonight because he's somewhere else. I should check. But that was great. I became a mom, and I had to make a decision. I couldn't be a chief executive officer of an international conglomerate of facial smock productions and a mom at the same time. At that time, it wasn't possible for me. So I gave it up. I gave my business to my partner, Irene Chaff. You know her well. She's very famous. And I became a stay-at-home mom, and let me tell you, those were some of the best years of my life. But you know what happens to kids? What happens to them? They grow up and get pimples. And Benji grew up. You know, he became a man. He had a bar mitzvah cruise that we're not going to discuss. Okay? But not long after that, he also won a partial scholarship to the Danny DeVito Conservatory for Short Character Actors. And that was a 9-year program, so he was gone for a while. And I was empty nesting, yeah? I was feeling lonely, and I was feeling unneeded. And then, fortunately for me, my sister got divorced. And I became her chief confidant. And I realized that I was onto something. This perfect marriage I had with my husband, Max Lezzenbaum, qualified me to help her through this process. I was able to offer her advice that no one else could. And I realized that's what I wanted to do with my life. And I started, tinkering around the neighborhood, and there were a lot of messed up middle-aged women at that time. And I helped them all. And I wrote a book, Married to Menopause, Keeping things out through the hot flashes, which you've read. And it was a, sort of local thrill. Everybody loved it in the tri-state area, at least the middle-aged Gale student. And then I went to school. I decided to go back to school. I was late. I had been a CEO, but I decided to go back to school to the Long Island Academy for Late Bloomers. And I took a counseling course. And it was great for the first couple months, but then the school got closed down because it turned out it was a front for an illegal whaling operation. I should have known by the harpoons everywhere. But I realized I didn't need an education to do this. I already was qualified. I had the perfect marriage. So I decided to open Big Lezzy Love and Associates. But it was just me, there were no associates. It was a mirage. And things started to take off. And of course, I wrote my critically acclaimed love memoir, Heart Attack, The Good Guy. Thank you, everybody. I know you've read it. It's 528 pages, plus several appendices. So it's long, and I appreciate your commitment. That became an international bestseller, okay? And the CW approached me with a show called Queen of Hearts, which you're all familiar with, in which I would weekly change people's lives around the world. And it was very, very special. And so I thought I would do something very, very special for you tonight. And do a little live version of the Queen of Hearts. How do you think? Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. So I warned you, start percolating. You should be fully percolated by now. So we're going to do a version of what I did on the show, where I'm going to come into the audience, get your questions, save your love lives, etc., etc. And then we'll come back to it later on, and we'll do the same thing. And it's going to be revelatory, I can guarantee that. But before we do that, just like on the show, I'm going to sing you the theme song, of course. Sing along, please. I know you know the words. Hit it, Tom. You know it. Who can save your love life with a kiss? Who can take a failing marriage and suddenly turn it to wedded bliss? Well, it's me, yes, and you should know it. With each smooch and every happy couple I show it. Love is all around and I can't start it. You will be astounded by my smart wit. The Queen of Hearts knows what to do. The Queen of Hearts is here for you. It's not done yet. You know this is the second verse. I have a husband who's ideal. And even though he's in South Korea, I kiss his picture and it's almost real. Take a look at this perfect marriage. Not a single little thing to change or disparage. Love is all around, although we're parted. In my wedding gown is where it started. The Queen of Hearts is here, will help. The Queen of Hearts is here for you. So you know what comes next, folks. It's your turn. Yes, I promise it's gonna help. Okay, who's got questions? I'm coming into the audience. Darling, oh my God, hello. I've never met you before. Tell me, what's your question, love?
I'm in love with a friend and I don't know what to do about it. Help.
Hey, do you know this person? Okay, all right. Good. I had a close friend when I was in grade school. Chucky was his name. Chucky Chunk. It was a very unflattering name, but I'll tell you what, he was a darling. And we had such chemistry, you know, I was almost fooled into thinking we were dating. But we weren't. And then he was shipped away to military school. But this is the deal, right? It's important for you to look at what your friendship is. What is your friendship like? Are you close friends? Very close. Okay. So honestly, I've been in this with Chucky, of course, and this was something that I had to deal with. I had to make a decision. Okay, I was either going to commit to doing this relationship, and I was going to tell him how I feel, and we're going to go for it, or I was going to get over it. I was going to say, look, your friendship is more important. That's what I love from you. That's what I really actually want from you is friendship. And so I pushed past it. And it helped that he was in military school, of course. But I think you can't wallow in the in-between. You know what I mean? You gotta just say, okay, I'm either gonna do this, and we're gonna deal with the fallout, or I'm gonna just have to say, you know what, I value this friendship enough that I'm not willing to risk it. Does that make sense? Solved. Okay, great. Okay, let's keep them coming. Yes, darling.
I'm struggling to find a wife.
Oh.
It's very hard.
Yes, I can.
So I was just wondering if you could divorce Max and make me your legal beneficiary.
What a flirt. The answer is, hell no, we won't go. But I'll tell you what, that doesn't mean there's no hope for you, sweetheart. First of all, there's a beautiful queer lady out there who looks just like me. I saw her on the street the other day. No, but who has everything that you need. And it comes down to the fact that there's only so much you can control. So what you can do in the meantime is build yourself up. Is make yourself, is believe in yourself and come to love yourself so damn much that when you meet that person, oh, a nail fell off. Oh no, that's a... What the hell that is? Everything's damp in this country. Do you know what I'm saying? Focus on yourself. Yeah, yes. And, well, we wish some other things would damp too. Okay, all right, love. I'm gonna do one more in this section and there will be more, don't worry. Oh, a mustachio gentleman, it's been so long.
Saundra, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I'm just going to do a quick sweep to check that the lady I'm about to talk about isn't here. Basically, I'll cut to the chase. I met this person that I really like, and we were rather inebriated and shared it. Sorry. I'm young, and we shared a night together. I thought it went really quite well, but I haven't heard anything since, and it's eating me up. It really is.
Have you gotten your ears checked? You haven't heard anything since, sweetheart. First of all, she could be there with a murderess around who's poking out eardrums. No, I'm just kidding. You shared a night, and that's special unto itself. Don't lose sight of that. I know you're not gonna like that, but come on. That's true. That's special unto itself. I think I'm always pro-communication. I know nobody likes to do that anymore, but if you feel something, say something. Don't they say that? Feel something, say something. Sort it. It's different here. Say something different here, but it's see something, say something in the United States. Anyway, feel something, say something. So, what have you got to lose? Street cred, my ass. You don't need street cred. Yeah, just be honest, and then maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't. But then you're not left to your own devices. If you need her to be coming to you, then that's a different story. We're going to have to work on that next session. You know what I'm saying? Bless your heart, sweetie. Okay. Actually, let's do one more. Are you having a good time? Good. Yes, my love.
Hi. So my boyfriend is gaining more than me, but I'm gonna create a cult in 10 years. Uh-huh. So how can I make him sure that we can marry because I'm gonna gain as much as him?
Gain.
Earn
money.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant.
I am trying.
What?
I'm foreign.
You are foreign. Me too.
Foreign.
Me too. I'm not from here. These people are all strangers. Okay, so you're worried about imbalance in terms of finances?
But I'm gonna create a cult soon, so...
Oh, well, that sounds like a reliable operation. That won't end in a suicide pact. Okay. So, listen, here's the deal. When it comes to finances, different people offer different things, right? So, it's just important to be, again, feel something? Say something. Thank you. So, it's just about communication. It's about you two sitting down and saying, look, you are providing this, I'm providing this. That we recognize reciprocity, but it's not all about what do we live in a capitalist society or something? Oh, but the cult will solve that. Great. Okay, solved. Glorious. Oh no, hey, if you want to keep going, here's the deal. I didn't tell you this. This is my first one-woman show. But it's not the first time that I've saved love lives, of course. I've been doing that for decades. But I haven't been live and had the opportunity to really dig in. So I normally have to cut myself off, but we're doing fine on time. And if you guys want to keep going, let's keep going. Who has more questions? Yes, my love.
Hello. How do I convince my girlfriend to come to a drag show with me?
Well, give her my business card, first of all. Because I know a lot of drag queens. I do. They just flock to me. I don't know why. But how do you convince her? First of all, I really think just point her to my socials. I think it'll change a lot for you. But is there something deeper there that you want to get to? Is it really about going to a drag show? Or do you feel like your version of entertainment is different than hers? I know. Ooh! I get deep, sweetie. That's what it's about. That's what we're here.
This is more difficult than I thought it would be.
That's okay.
Do the audience have any ideas?
Are you British?
Yeah.
Yes. But you're doing amazing. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. There's going to be a second session. After the interval, there will be an interval after this. You guys can get some drinks. Oh, hello, standards. The standards, that's a good sign. And so you can see if you maybe build up a little courage to go deeper. How about that? Deal? Okay, cool. All right, one more before we take an interval. Yes, my love.
Hi Sandra, thank you so much for this wonderful show. My question is, I hate leaving my house, but I'd like to find the perfect person. How do I go about that?
Okay. All right. First of all, I get it. I live in a palatial duplex in Ronkonkoma. And it is a very special place. We have multiple dens and multiple sort of jacuzzis that I like to sort of dabble each day of the week. So there's a lot drawing me there. But I'll tell you what, if I had stayed home in 1986, I wouldn't have stumbled down those subway stairs and met the love of my life. So I think it's worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it because someone's out there. Yeah, someone's out there for you. I promise.
Thank you.
It's not me. I see you staring. No, I kid. All right. See, I got a special watch. It might not work. Yeah, that's okay. All right, one more, and then you get a break. Then you get a break, and you get a break, and you get a break. And you get a break. Yes, my love, back there. Ooh. There's traps, there's heel traps all over here where I can just think.
Hi, Saundra. My question is, my boyfriend is on his year abroad studying in France. How do we keep the romance alive?
Cheese is my sort of immediate go-to. France, cheese. This is hard. As you know, I've been dealing with this for some time. Max is a very, very, very high-profile parking lot architect. Yes, he was for a long time. We're going to get to that. He's always somewhere, but it's not often enough where I am. And so I get your pain. I feel your pain. I think it's the challenge because you want him to have his experience, right? You don't want him to feel, tied down, but you also want to feel tied together still, right? So I think it's just, again, it's about being as overly communicative as you can and making those connection moments special. If it's doing a cute little Zoom date night where you got a glass of wine or whatever and you're naked, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Do something special so it feels like you're dating. You know what I mean? Okay, solved. You're welcome. So keep cooking up more. There will be more, but now it's time for me to drink some water and you to take a break and go potty, okay? We'll see you in 10 minutes. Oh! Welcome back. Well, needless to say, being a world-famous America's Love coach was a lot to handle for a doe-eyed little 40-something from Ronkonkoma. Before I knew it, I was flying all over the world for book tours, keynote speeches, peace talks, and spinach dip competitions. All the while saving love lives from New York to Old York and everywhere in between. It was exhilarating, but it was also exasperating. And I was suffering from a serious case of girdle rash. Let's just say I needed a break. I headed off the grid for some much-needed rest, relaxation, recuperation, revitalization, and other words. It was a shame Maxie couldn't come along, but he was building what would become the most top-heavy parking garage in Lower New Jersey. Let's just say I was flying solo, to use the French. There's an isle off the coast of Greece where my friend offered a sublease. I was desperate to find some peace after touring with my book. There was a man with abs like a plank, and he came to fix my septic tank. I said, Stavros, I'd like to thank you for cleaning out my pipes. He said to me, Thorndy, you're a goddess, and you look just like Aphrodite. I bet you make your hubby so happy. Then he left with his treasured chest, the kind that gives you cardiac arrest. As he walked away, I took him the best tooketh I've ever seen. The next day, sunning in the sand, I felt the touch of his warm hand. Stavros stood there, tall and tanned. He took me in his arms. He said to me, Thorndy, you're a siren. I want to drown in your deep blue sea. Then he dropped his speedo and said, make love to me. Yeah, his eyes were bluer than blue cheese, and he smelled like fresh tzatziki. His thighs were thick as cypress trees, and I could tell that he was freaky. Still, I couldn't help thinking of my dear old Maxie back at home. But Mama always told me, when in Rome, he carried me back to my sublet, and my pits, well, they were slick with sweat. Stavros and I were tete-a-tete, and lust was in the air. I said to him, Stavros, you're a Greek god. I want to shake your olive tree. But my life, my love, and my hobby is Maxie. Hop the next barge to Long Island, and guess what was waiting for me? A jury duty summons and Maxie. cool. Yeah, there's a thing about the smell of tzatziki. I still, to this day, it gets me going. But no, I knew I had to go back to Maxie. But it was hard at that time. I'm sure some of you know, few of you, that your relationship changes over the course of many decades, of course. And Max and I were both very successful. You know, I was traveling all over the world saving love lives, and he was building parking garages everywhere he went. You probably know some of his work, you just don't know it. But it was hard. It was hard because we were different. Our bodies were changing. Our lives were changing. They were hectic. It was hard to stay connected. It's not easy. Keep the flame alive when you're young and you can eat as much spinach dip as you want. You can keep it going. But when you're older, you know, someone once told me this, or I read it in a cartoon or something. When you marry someone, you actually have to be ready to marry a bunch of different people over the course of their lives. And that proved to be true. That proved to be true for me and Maxie, especially during, I had a delirium. One year I was sort of in a delirium for most of the year, and that was a different person, for sure. For sure. But this is the amazing thing. No matter what happened, what life threw at us, whether it was an IRS audit or a mysterious third nipple or an ongoing class action lawsuit pertaining to my son Benji's disastrous bar mitzvah. Keep it down. The amazing thing was, we always came home and found each other again. And this song is dedicated to a very special night when we came home together. It happened, 17 years, 6 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, and 1.5 hours ago. Midtown Manhattan proved too much for my Max. Too much for my Max. He couldn't stand it, so we sleep in his office. He's not sleeping there again. He said he's coming home to find, his acid reflux pills. The ones he left behind on the futon in the den. He said he's coming on that 610 train to Ronkonkoma. 610, yeah. Said he's coming home to try. His sister Diane's casserole. Oh yes he is. And I'll reheat it.
Oh yes I will.
When he comes home to Ronkonkoma.
The 610 train to Ronkonkoma.
I'll spend the night with Maxie,
and we'll eat and stay up past 9. We might watch CFR.
He'll need foot cream
Foot cream.
for that fungus on his right heel.
It's a real deal, and it's starting to peel.
And he sure found out the hard way that if you don't put the cream on, it gets worse.
It's worse, and it really, really hurts.
So I'll put on my moo-moo. The one he said looks a little tight. Yeah, get all dolled up for my Max. I bet I'll even get a smooch tonight.
A smooch or two, whatever he wants to do.
He's coming
Coming
on that 610 train to Ronkonkoma.
610 p.m.
Yeah. Said he's coming home because
coming home because
A pipe burst at his work.
sewage everywhere, but Maxie's home, so I don't care.
But our plumbing's
Our
fine.
plumbing's fine.
In our duplex in
A
Ronkonkoma.
palatial duplex, just a date night with my Mixela. We might even sleep in the same bed. No apnea machine tonight.
My love, coming home on a train to Ronkonkoma. My love, coming home on a train to Ronkonkoma. My love, coming home on a train to Ronkonkoma. There's Saundra and there's Max. There's Max and Saundra there as well. There's Saundra and there's Max. There's Max as well as Saundra there as well. Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma. Ooh, Ronkonkoma. Ooh, I get steamy just thinking about that night. Partially because the casserole didn't sit well with either of us, and we ultimately couldn't share a bed because doctor's orders, the digestive issues. There would have been too much methane, but nonetheless, we came back together, and it was very, very, very special. But what came next? I think you know. I came home from my sabbatical, my hiatus. Stavros' hiatus, let me tell you. And I was ready to get back into the swing of things, start my show up again on the CW, and what happened? Who remembers? A little thing called COVID-19 happened. And it was a tough time for all of us, mostly me. Because I was trapped in my palatial duplex, and as much as I say I loved it, it was hard because Max wasn't there. He was building the first ever international space parking lot. And so he was, in the stars at that time. Lucky him. But I was all alone, eating gallons upon gallons of Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey. Until my beloved son Benji, called from his apartment flat in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and he told me, Mom, have you ever heard of YouTube? Have you ever heard of YouTube? It's incredible. He said, actually, you know what? You could, from the comfort of your palatial duplex in Ronkonkoma, Long Island, you could record your own show, but from your home, and it could reach hundreds, if not billions of people. And so, well, I got out of my spinach dip bath, cleaned myself off, and I made a show. A YouTube series that you're all very intimately familiar with called Love in the Time of Corona. You remember it. You remember it well. I do too. And it was actually marvelous because I had people writing in daily. A lot of it was spam, but I also got questions from all over the world about their love lives. At my email, of course, is biglessilove@gmail.com for any of you future reference. And they would just send these emails, and then live on air through the internet and YouTube, I was able to reach them and save their lives. Love lives. Many of them were also sick. I had to caveat that every time. I'm not that kind of a doctor. So that was confusing. But it was an incredible experience, and I encourage you all to go to. This is right. Let me get this right, Ezra. So this is my nephew, Ezra Tamaguchi. Yes, Ezra. My publicity director, manager, social person. So I've been instructed to tell you all, go see Love in the Time of Corona on YouTube, okay? YouTube at Saundra Lezzenbaum. I think we did it easy because I could always remember my own name. You told me that. And also follow me on other things, Instagram, and then this new one called Facebook. That's really ahead of its time. So I encourage you all to do that. But this experience of doing Love in the Time of Corona was incredible, and I want you guys to have that experience too. So we're back. We're back here, ladies and gentlemen, to me saving your love lives, and I hope you've been cooking up more courage to bear your heart to me. I think you could do it. So I bet you have more questions that you've been cooking up after hearing my incredible love life story. Who's got more questions? Yes, yes. Oh, we did. I will come back to you, but I got to prioritize a newbie. Hello, darling.
Hi, Sandra. I've been single for like 3 years now, and I really want to get back out there, but I have this crippling fear of all dating apps and street corners, and I don't know how to meet anyone. I know this is quite like the before question, how do I meet someone without leaving my house? But yeah, how can I overcome these fears to meet the love of my life?
Good intention. First of all, not street corners. I would avoid street corners unless you want a different kind of relationship, in which case, that's fine. I think it's actually fun. I heard Benji tells me about this. He's polyagamous. Is anyone else polygamous? Polygamy! I love it. And so he's polygamous, which means that he loves everybody. And he's looking to love more than he does now. And so he was telling me in New York City, in Flatbush, which is near Bushwick, that, I know, right? What a name. Flatbush, Bushwick. Hello. I didn't name it. But he chose to live there. And he was telling me there's actually speed dating and things that are coming back. So in-person things like this. And let me tell you, if it's not there, you should start it. I'm serious. It's just, there's something special about meeting someone in real life, not on a street corner. But I think we're in this zone. Look at, first of all, thank you. But second of all, phones, right? We've got a barrier all the time. And I'm grateful for this barrier. But you know what I mean? Normally we just can't get through. It's become increasingly difficult to just actually interact with another human being. Even if we are friends with them, but let alone a stranger or someone we find attractive. Don't worry, keep staring, darling. And so I just think any opportunity we can do, if we could put together some sort of organization, some sort of outing, join a club, join a group, something where you can meet people in person that isn't, on a street corner. Okay? Help? Solved. Okay, bless it. Yes, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. I know you've got another one too.
Hi.
Yes.
So we are amorous, like
yes.
Your son.
Oh, polyamorous. Thank you.
Amorous.
Polyamethyst.
Yes. Amethyst.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you help us to find someone who's like, what was it, darling?
Oh, are you an item?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Isn't it wonderful? I hit and it's good.
Yeah. Okay, how to find
big buff men.
Well, I know a few. So this is interesting. Any interest? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I thought I'd try. I'm a matchmaker. Yeah, men. Sorry, got it. So big buff men. First of all, gyms, I hear, have big buff men, right? Is that a danger zone or something? You go. Okay, so you got some work to do, right? You're the breadwinner and you're the buff puller, whatever you are. Yeah, you got a lot of responsibility, buddy. Yeah, so I would think those would be the zones. Maybe smoothie parlors. I
am old, but I don't know what it is.
Well, a smoothie is when you make something into a liquid. You know what that is? Oh, a smoothie. You know what it is, for Christ's sake? I've never had to explain it. Goddamn. A juice. It's like juice, but you mix it all together with knives and things. Well, it's got blades. This is horrifying to me. I can't believe I can't tell you what a smoothie is. It's a drink, regardless. It's a health drink, smoothie parlor. Check it out. I would say not like an ice cream parlor. You know, that's what I was trying to think. You know, I would go to an ice cream parlor. Yeah, because I like mint chocolate chip. What can I say? So I would say one of those. Yeah? Smoothie parlor or gym. You go to the smoothie parlor when you figure out what it is, and you go to the gym and pull these fellas, of course. Did you have another one, sweetie?
Yeah.
Well, please.
I'm looking to start dating again because it's been a while. Yeah, tell me about it. Stop it. But I tend to sort of intimidate men because I bully them on a first date because it's the easiest way. Yeah. And I do sort of scare them away. I intimidate them too much because I don't let them speak. So any advice would be much appreciated.
Let them speak. First, I would say change yourself entirely. No, I'm just kidding. So first of all, I would say there's a balance to be struck because there's someone out there who finds that very hot and attractive to be kind of, bullied around. I know them. I've been in this business a long time, and there are people who like to be bullied. That I can tell you. But I would say it's a combo because you know that if you take over the whole conversation, you're not really getting to know the person, right? So, yeah, of course it's easier, but love ain't easy. Love ain't easy, but it's worth it. And so I would say you don't suppress yourself necessarily, but but also be genuinely interested in getting to know the person. And your humor will come through. I know you're a funny bitch. I'm kidding. I never swear. I'm sorry, doctor. Oh, great. Oh, that's strange. Send me that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bless your heart. Hey, I won't pick on you yet. Does anyone else have questions? Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're closest.
I don't know what it's like with Benji, but my Jewish mother is quite keen on me meeting a Jewish girl. But that doesn't matter to me. I just wondered if you have any advice for navigating the two relationships.
Bless your heart. You got chutzpah for that, let me tell you. Listen, so I've never been prescriptive in that way for Benji, especially once I found out he was polyamethyst. I didn't. At that point, I was like, oh, okay, maybe one of them could be. But ultimately, I think your mom wants you to find love more than anything else, wants you to be happy. And so I would bet, I don't know what, maybe I do. I don't know, maybe I've met her at the JCC or something. But maybe I have a feeling that if you make it clear, first of all, you have to find someone. Sorry, you have to find someone who's not Jewish, yeah? So you'd have to have a case study, right? Of course. But I would say, you don't need to limit yourself if you don't feel that that's an internal, restriction. And I think you can trust that your mama is gonna just want you to be happy, ultimately. And it may, whatever, it may be something she'll have to get over, like polyamity or whatever, and that's fine, but ultimately she just wants you to be happy. I know that's true, yeah? So just follow your heart, sweetie. Yeah, great. Someone back here, yes? I love the turtleneck.
Yeah, there's a girl I love very much. Oh, sorry. There's a girl I love very much. And we've been together for a while. It's always been understood that it was open. Now I'm falling in love with someone else, and I am scared because I don't want to go too fast to frighten the first girl, but I'm also worried that if I don't open up and share who I am with this new girl and keep the momentum up, we'd miss out on that. And I really want a family with both of these people, and I'm caught in the middle.
Okay. First of all, thank you for being so vulnerable. This is very interesting. We've got a lot of polyamity going on. That's my question. Do you think either of these people is open to that? It's not their first choice. Okay. I would say if you feel so strongly about both of these people, and you feel that you would like to actually have a relationship with both of them, then it's worth it to make it clear. Again, what do I say? Feel something? Say something. Thank you, darlings. And I think that's the way it is. And it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. But you'll be doing yourself a disservice to not be true to yourself. And if you really feel strongly about both of these people, I think you want to make that very clear. What's that? Oh, sorry. Fooling around. This is serious. We're getting deep. I think you owe it to both of them and yourself, to be honest. Yeah. Good luck, sweetie. Keep in touch if you need a follow-up. Anybody back here? I realize I've neglected the... Oh, hello, sweetie.
Hi, Saundra. I've recently moved in with my girlfriend, and almost everything is great, except whenever she very kindly stacks the dishwasher, I have to restack it in a way that makes sense. What can I do?
First of all, I have a lady who does this for me, so it's a problem I haven't had in a while, celebrity life. Yeah, I think this is a part of a bigger, I'm going to broaden it out a little bit to make it, go a little deeper into what it's like to cohabitate, right? Because I think that's really what this is about, preferences and negotiations. That's what cohabitation is. This is many of you know this, but, I don't wear bras on Thursdays. And that is an agreement that I've made with Max, and he knows that, and it's fine. So I think you just have to have the sit-down conversation and say, is this something that really matters to you? If it really matters to you, then you guys, hopefully, can have a conversation about, could we do it this way? Can I very gently and kindly, and show you how I would love to do it, or how I would love for you to do it, and then you can say yes or no, and then no would be another conversation, see, one thing leads to another, right? But I think ultimately, that's what all of cohabitation is about. It's about saying, what am I willing to compromise on? What am I not willing to compromise on? And I need to be very upfront and clear about how we get, how we move forward from that. Yeah? Deal solved, of course. Okay, there's room for more. There's always room for... Sweetie! Hello!
So good to see you. I was here for your performance last year, and you really helped a lot of people, so glad to be here. So my girlfriend is British.
Oh.
Yes. She was raised not expressing feelings. I was raised in therapy, so I express feelings. So
that's rare, I should say, even so.
Yeah. So how do I create an environment in which she feels safe to express her feelings, but also not expect her to express her feelings as much as I do, if that makes sense? This balance, yeah.
Yes. First of all, you're very thoughtful, you're very wise already. I can feel that radiating off you, so that's great. I would say that this person, I would imagine this person is interested in reaching their highest potential, in becoming their best version of themselves, right? We all hopefully are. Actualized people should hope for that. And so I would say that it should be a journey you're on rather than like, I gotta figure out my game plan so I can get her to, you know what I'm saying? That it's actually about you coming together as recognizing this is where we're different. These are the reasons why I think it's really important for us to share our feelings and for us to be able to connect on that deeper level and more vulnerable level. Are you interested in that? And how she might actually say, this is what is important to me, or this might actually make me feel more comfortable, right? I don't think you have to concoct it all on your own. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about bringing you two closer together. Bless you. Awesome. What else? Any more? I mean, gosh, if you're all solved, that's grand. Okay, yeah, oh, nope, there's one up front. There's always one more. Oh, I know. Well, look, I'm being careful because I could think in one of these. Here you go, sweetie.
Hello.
Hello, love.
How are you getting over heartbreak?
Oh, how am I getting over heartbreak?
One.
Oh.
Non-specific.
Sure, how does one? How does the soul get over heartbreak? Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before, but Bruce Springsteen, his cousin, Roy, was someone that I had a dalliance with. And I would say before Max, that was the, well, there was the Pirate King from the Renaissance fair. That was a hard one. That was more of a fling. But I would say Roy was something deeper. And that was the last time I experienced heartbreak of that variety, where a relationship is ending in so many words. Because obviously I've experienced heartbreak when Max leaves me and goes to outer space or whatever. But I would say what I learned from that is, of course, there's a grieving process, right? But at some point you have to recognize, what good is it doing you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you owe it to yourself to live your best life. And that doesn't mean you have to find someone immediately or whatever, but it does mean that you have to move forward inch by inch. And if that experience is dragging you back, dragging you down, then we have to figure out how we can move past that, how we can, even small little baby steps every day, a little bit forward, because you will get there, and you owe it to yourself to get there, and you owe it to yourself to then eventually be open. But ultimately, like we talked about, it's just that journey of getting back on the horse to finding your most authentic self, to be able to present to the world the energy that you want to receive from it. You know what I'm saying? Bless your heart. Oh, you're a sweetie. Okay, thank you. Any more? This is your last call, so to speak. Oh, she's back, Mama. Here she is. Oh, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you for your wisdom and your warmth, and it's made me think that I should try to open up a little bit more, be a little less British.
If I can do that, then I've really been.
And I was thinking, about digging deeper and maybe why do I really want my girlfriend to come to certain events with me, and maybe that's just a bit sort of, I should just be a little less insecure and go to events on my own because everyone here is so lovely.
Of course, yeah.
And maybe that's the answer, and then I could go home and tell her all about it afterwards.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Well, wow, you did my job. That's great. And I think, again, that's something to talk about, though, too, right? So you're not doing it from a resentful place and something like, well, I'm going by myself anyway, kind of thing. But like, no, I really want to do this, and I know you don't, and that's okay. And we'll have a great convo later about it. Yes. See, this is another thing, right? You meet people who know other people who could then, this is how things happen. You build up relationships and you expand your network for love. Your love network. You got it. All right, everybody. We come almost to the end of the show here. Yes, I know, it's heartbreaking. But I also saved all of your love lives, so that's exciting. What happened after COVID? I was excited to get back to work when it all kind of blew over, and I went up to the CW, and the world was different. The world had changed. Someone new had come onto the scene. You may have heard of him, Andre DeLucas, the so-called wife whisperer, had become the highest-rated show on the CW, and the Love Talk slot had been taken. And the Queen of Hearts was not renewed for another season. Yeah, no, I know. It was very hard. But, no, there's no but. My heart was broken. My heart was broken. Yeah. Queen of Hearts was down, but guess what? She was not out, okay? My longtime manager, Normie Driscoll, recommended that I release a nude calendar. But instead, I decided to put together an album called Saungs for a Perfect Marriage, which some critics are calling the next Sgt. Pepper's. And I also read in the newspaper that there's a which there's only one cure. Me. So I went out on tour across the world, and here I am.
Landed Heathrow, it's just begun. Time to loosen up, have some fun.
It's the start of my world tour. Oxford needs me now. I'm in the mood to wow. The Brits have called and they need my help. I guess my ratings were high on you. I see that you were stifled. Feelings make you squirm. You need to open wide and show me what's inside. 'Cause I'm your queen of hearts. Queen of hearts, I know all I know. Queen of hearts, get in touch with your private parts. Oh yeah, read my books, watch my show. There is so much that I know. Whoa, Saundra's here to do her part. She's the queen of hearts. You guys have been such an amazing audience, and I just want to say one thing. You're welcome. In the 80s, we tie the knot. Here we go.
In the 80s, we tie the knot.
The perfect marriage is what I got. To my darling Max, he's the one for me. We found a real romance. But now, Brits, your chance. 'Cause I'm the queen of hearts. Compared with me, King Chuck's an old fart. Queen of hearts, this monarch needs no Magna Carta. Yeah, you'll read my books, you'll watch my show, from Gloucestershire to Glasgow. Whoa, Saundra's here to share her smarts to get the dancing queen. I meant the queen of hearts. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Love you, darlings. Love you. Spread the love, my sweet. Follow me. No, not down there, but you know. Farewell. Keep in touch, my love.